Hey guys, so I'm a little late, but I didn't realize that when I scheduled it that it worked. So I came on earlier, just very briefly, but I wanted to come back on and speak about a couple of things. I know most people here are probably asleep, but I don't sleep very much, so here I am. I can't wait to see if anybody comes in. My stomach's growling. It's kind of odd too, guys, because I've lost like 1,000 subscribers in a week. Kind of weird if you ask me, but whatever. Anyway, I wanted to do this while I have time, while my son is asleep. Good morning, Charmaine. See, somebody's awake. I know it's morning there. Anyway, I was saying I wanted to talk about a couple of things above and beyond what I spoke about earlier. Hey, Noel, how are you? People are slowly joining. I tried to schedule it. I don't know if it showed up or not. I'm a little late. What time is it there? Cough. Thank you. I see 6. So anyway, guys, I'm actually late because I was trying to find some concrete numbers on the number of murders during apartheid. And this is actually not easy to find because the internet and the search engines are completely biased, and as always you have to really search and search and search to get any even in between information, and it's mostly a load of crap and lies. But what I did find is 10:20 in the morning. What I did find is, according to the UN, there have been over 500,000 people murdered since '94. Well, not over, almost 500,000 people murdered in South Africa due to violent death. So that's under ANC rule. And I actually have been quoting 34.2 per 100,000, but the UN says it's 36 per 100,000. You didn't see scheduling? Maybe it's scheduling for me, and I just don't know what I'm doing. But I was going to talk about this because I get a lot of crap from people telling me that all of these atrocities were committed under apartheid, and that, basically that black people were slaughtered and they were slaves and all of this stuff, and it's just completely untrue. I know that there were bad things that happened, as in every society. It was also a different time, and a different era, things change. So that's why I kind of wanted to talk about the numbers and how much the crime has gone up since 1994. Oh, and I didn't know this, but the population in South Africa, so your murder rate is 36 per 100,000. And in America, ours is like 2 to 3 of 100,000. And your population makes up Texas and California, 2 states. That's crazy, insane. And, I read that, the ANC presides over what is potentially the largest welfare state in the world, that there are 5 South Africans on welfare for every 1 South African paying taxes. That's crazy, too. Another thing I wanted to say, guys, is on the webpage, I have someone helping, and she's been doing a really good job, way better than me. But, the donation page was never aimed at people in South Africa. And I greatly appreciate the help that every single person has contributed, whether it be money, time, blogs. I appreciate every contribution. But we greatly need help, paying the cost to keep it up, and marketing and things like that. So if anyone sees this who is able, and maybe who hasn't seen it, go to ANC Sanctioned Genocide.com, and if you're able, page 2, there's a whole page that is a donate page, and click the donate button to help us, further this and further the site. Actually, it's gotten a massive amount of attention, and is performing, I think, 98% better than other sites like it. So I would like to market it more to get the information out. And as I said, when I spoke to Mark Collette, do some other things to the website. I just don't know how to put these into place. Like, I need some help. But if I had a little bit of help with this, it would make a huge difference. So I'm not good at fundraising, guys. Not even for other people. But, for Good Morning Video Board, for a long time, everything that I did myself, paid for myself. And even little things, they add up to big things. And, I don't speak about it, because when you do something from your heart, you don't tell people, how much money you spend. But what I will tell you is that it helps greatly to have other people support. And as I said, when I added the donate page to the website, it was never meant for anyone in South Africa. I know a lot of people there are struggling and, don't even have money for simple things. It was created for people outside of the country who do have, extra money and spend more money on Red Bull than they do a good cause. So I ask everybody to help me with this and share the website and ask people to help out, because if I didn't need it, I wouldn't ask. Hey, Tim from Montreal. I was actually just reading a lot of stuff about Canada. And I have a really good friend that lives in Canada. She's a conservative, and she tells me some crazy things going on there. I can't imagine, I don't know. If I put on a Donald Trump hat and walked out of my house, I could go anywhere I wanted and nobody say a word. And she was telling me that, if someone there tried to do that they would be attacked. That's crazy. Hey, Dick Justice, how are you? So I thought I announced the stream, but I didn't, guys. I came back to, for anyone who didn't hear it, speak about the website that we have up, and someone's been helping me. Actually, she's from Canada, and she's been doing a fabulous job, way better than myself at organizing. And so I came on to speak about the website because I greatly need some help, guys, with this. So I asked that if anyone hasn't seen it, to definitely go and check it out, and I try to keep it updated as much as I can, and share it and ask people to help out with the cost, because marketing is a pretty big cost, and I want to put it out there more, but I could really use some help with people donating if they're able. So please help me share this, and so I can get it out there and do more, because like I said, if I didn't really need the help, I wouldn't ask for it. I wish I was super wealthy, but I'm not. Therefore, I really need support of other people who are able to contribute. So Video Board says, I found some stats over the weekend during apartheid from 1948 to 91. 21,000 people died in political violence. 92% of them were black on black tribal killings. So where's the genocide exactly? Yeah, so I couldn't find exact statistics on the numbers during the 40-year apartheid era, but what I did find was, according to the UN, almost 500,000 people have been murdered in violent ways since 1994. That's insane. And actually the murder rate is 36 per 100,000. And if you think about that, your population in South Africa is Texas and California here. We have 51 states. Our murder rate's like 2 to 3 per 100,000. That's crazy. And I also said that it's potentially the biggest welfare state in the world, that for every one person paying taxes, there are 5 people on welfare in South Africa. And something I've spoken on in the past is the police being completely corrupt, and that the majority of, cash and transit heists and other things like that, robberies, have police involvement. Farm murders. I think I read one statistic was that they believe that 70% of cash and transit heists have police involvement, from planning to actually carrying out the crime. And not just police, but hawks. I mean, some have been convicted of being involved in these cash and transit heists, which really are an epidemic, and a lot of people don't know about this. But that doesn't even include, the other robberies and just insane amount of police corruption and involvement in crimes. Tim. I'm cracking up. More farmers died since then. Yeah, absolutely. The farming population's been cut in half, and that's just the farmers. That doesn't even include all of the white population. Good morning, my friend. I was speaking about the website and asking everyone to share and to help out if they could. That there's a donate button on the page, and that I have a great friend from Canada who's been helping with the website, doing a fabulous job. She's in the chat, guys. Ben, as I said, please do not fret. We will make it happen. This is definitely not directed at South Africans, and I do not want anyone to go beyond their means to help out with this. No. Sure. Yeah, you can share it anywhere. There's a lot of stuff I want to put up that I haven't gotten put up. Mainly, I don't have time to write blogs and things like that. I've been trying to write an article on Lena Marks and why she is unfit to be the ambassador to South Africa, and her inability to relate to the struggles that all people are going through there, because she's never suffered struggles as far as worrying about how she's going to feed her family or pay the bills or be murdered, in the night. And that's okay, but she seems unwilling to even try to relate. I mean, in order to relate, you have to get to know people. She won't even speak really about the white minority. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I was saying to help me share it, with people that, are supporters of the issue already and who maybe could help out, because I need it greatly. Your petition to move Lena is, I know, I've been sharing it like crazy. I shared it on Minds, on Gab. Yeah, that's a great idea, to ask Jason to take it with him. Yeah, that's a great idea. Isn't he halfway there? Yeah, she's not open to dialogue, period. She deleted my comments off of Instagram. So she posted the photo with the clerk and wrote some bullshit post. So I commented and I called him the traitor of all traitors. And I said that, he's responsible for everything that's going on, and that on top of that, he has said in the past that he has no regrets, that he would change nothing, even knowing what he knows today. And that I hoped, if the day came where the country was forced into a civil war by the ANC and their inaction in just unwillingness to stop everything that's going on, that I hope that he's treated as a traitor should be. And I said some other stuff too. And then I wrote a comment in Afrikaans under that, telling her that she was unfit to be the ambassador and that she needed to be removed. And she erased my comments. Can you believe that? Like, instead of addressing concerns, and it's not just me, people on Twitter have been giving her hell, you just erased them. And I didn't say anything that was untrue. I feel like she lives in a fantasy land, though, like not the real world. Hey, Bruno. How are you? Thank you. She's probably is fuming about your petition. And she probably was. Listen, and this is why I believe it, because I started commenting on her Instagram a while back because she didn't have many followers, and I knew that she would read it, right? So when we found the pictures of her son on Instagram with Hillary Clinton and a bunch of other stuff, and I posted them everywhere, and I tagged her and I tagged the president. The next day, the pictures were gone off of his Instagram. So then, she deletes my comments off of her posts, and every time she posts something ridiculous like that, I mean, read her the riot act, and I say the truth, under whatever crap she posts. So, deleting my comments, I just posted the screenshots and attached her to it and said, since she wants to delete them, that I'll just post them. Good morning, Pete. Bruno does not have Twitter. There's a backstory to that. He had one for like 2 days. And then he was a victim of Jack Trash, which we knew was going to happen. Actually, he got accused of being me. That I was now Bruno the Doberman. It was quite funny. I'm surprised it lasted 2 days. I expected it to go sooner. Bruno, I would have asked you to come on with me. So, before you came on, I was saying, we can just call him Thegan now, because he goes by Thegan on Twitter. His account actually got suspended finally, and he started anew, and he has like 7.5 followers, and he just goes by Thegan now. I am the Doberman. You had to make a new Twitter. Oh my God. I just block him because I get trolled enough. Like, I don't need another person threatening me or inciting violence or rape or anything like that against me. Bruno, I was asking, I need help, like, with the website. I need people to contribute. I need people to share with people that will support and contribute to help, with the cost and upkeeping it and the marketing, and so I can keep it going and have it reach more people. So if you could help out with sharing and letting people know that this is needed. There's a whole page dedicated to this on page 2, but there's also the donate button is on the very first page. But it would help me out a lot. What are you doing up? I can't share on Facebook, guys, because I don't have a Facebook. Hit me up offline. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, and just share with all of your friends that support. So somebody earlier, guys, mentioned, I think I have Venmo, Bruno. I do have it. I don't have it on my phone right now, I think, but I have it. Yeah. Yeah, share anything you want, Ben. He's the computer whisperer. Yeah. So I was this close last night, this close, and it shut me down. I'm speaking to you, Canada. I don't even know how to work Venmo, Bruno. I'm gonna have to download the app. So someone was speaking earlier about the Sons of Odin. If anybody has, I speak to some guys in Switzerland, another well-known organization that do really, great work, and, are viciously attacked and, by their own people for what they do. But if anybody has contact information for the Sons of Odin or know of any of those guys, I would greatly appreciate being put in touch with them. I'm not sure if anybody does. Probably my friends that live in Sweden are the best people to ask. So let me get Venmo. See, I did have it, Bruno. I'm downloading it now. I'm a bit worried about my dealings with Lena, as we're still going to apply for. I don't think that she would have the ability to do that. All of these type of, I don't want to say too much, but these type of things go directly through the State Department. And they are so swamped with stuff, like people that are filing for asylum. It's taking years to have their actual asylum hearing. For anyone that doesn't know this, if you manage to keep your feet on American soil legally for 5 years without leaving, you automatically become naturalized. And that means that you can go down and apply for your citizenship and get it. But you have to be here 5 years legally without leaving. If you can manage to do that, you can become a citizen. I would not advise for just everyone to apply for asylum. It is very hard to get asylum. You have to prove that you yourself are in direct danger, threat of death from the government or, other people if you're forced to return. And you have to have evidence, statements, other things. But a lot of people are being denied. But as I said, it takes years to even get to the hearing. But it's not easy. And I'm just speaking the truth, guys, because I just hate giving, false hope or something like that. And, I know Alice has too, racking my brain on a better way, but we will figure something out. Okay, Bruno, thank you. Hi, Violet. Frody at the... You'll have to help me with that. I don't know. I don't even know that forum. So I just downloaded it again, Bruno. I don't know how to find you. Oh, I do. By your phone number. Sorry, guys. What do I have you under here? I have no idea. Sorry, guys. I'm like one-track mind right now. Anyway, you'll have to tell me your name on Venmo. And drive safe. So, sorry guys, I get sidetracked. It's like squirrel. It's my ADD. My brothers tell me that it's life-threatening. I know he did. I message him on there every once in a while, and then I realize he doesn't have it. But you know what? He lives in America, so all I have to do is message him. I forget, though. Another thing, guys, I wanted to talk about is, so a lot of people wonder how all of these South African politicians become billionaires, and I know many people in South Africa know, but for other people that don't know, I did something that opened my eyes a lot to how things work there as far as being in a position of power and being able to become uber wealthy. And if you go back, even through the years, all the way back to, after Mandela, I don't know because I didn't go back that far, but even under Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma. So if you look at the huge corporations, the mining companies, the banks, tech companies, the huge conglomerates, and go back and look at their board members for every year under every president, and on their boards you will see the names of these politicians. So basically they get paid to sit on the board of these huge companies and do nothing because they know nothing about business, and this is for political favor, for the companies. So this opens the door for them to start making, enormous sums of money. In America, this would be illegal. You would go to jail for it. There, for anyone who's curious about this, go back and research the huge mining companies and things like that, and just look at every year at who sat on the board of directors. And every single year you will see politicians like David Mabuza and Julius Malema and many, many others. And it's really kind of sick and twisted, because it's like, if you have enough money to pay them off, you can thrive. It's like, it's just, everything is so rooted in corruption and greed that it's really disheartening, because it's like, if you try to do things based on principle, or you want to do the right thing, it's like they make it impossible for you to succeed. And that's really sad, because I feel like some people that didn't start out completely corrupt, go in to something with good intentions, and then quickly realize that everything's completely corrupt, and if they're not willing to play ball, then they don't have a job. Then you can use conservative Texas woman at Gmail. Julius is Ethiopian. He's not really Ethiopian. He's, somebody help me out here. Yeah, government and business in partnership. Oh, something else, guys. So, I've been trying for a while now to find the true number of money that has been lost to corruption, state capture. Some people report it as 700 billion, but I know that's not right. And so I found a story, and I found some information that actually the Daily Maverick reported this, and I found a couple of other reports on corruption from other governments that kind of back this up. And they actually say that it's that it's our 4.9 trillion GDP. Never mind the lost trust, confidence, and opportunity. That state capture wipes out a third of South Africa's GDP. Our 4.9 trillion. That is literally the kind of money that can make or break a country, like South Africa. I mean, just gone. And the world says nothing. I mean, what do you guys think about that number? I mean, that's, to me, staggering. Oh, and it actually says state capture has wiped out a third of South Africa's 4.9 trillion gross domestic product, or effectively annihilated 4 months of all labor and productivity of all South Africans, from hawkers selling sweets outside schools as boardroom jockeys. We already did that, remember? Yeah, that's what they know about. I actually had someone tell me that it's like 16 trillion, but I don't have any data on that. But it was someone who is very intelligent and was a former government, held a government position. That's way too much. We'll never get out of debt. Willie Jordan has the info. Thank you very much about my interview with Mark. I was very nervous. Yes, so River Reed Ward just said that we're up against a huge beast and we need to seriously come together to win this battle. And I completely agree with you. That's why I said when I spoke to Mark Collette, what he said in the beginning of the interview about me, I wasn't, at the moment I was nervous, but when I watched it later, I was like, wow, because that was his assessment from months of conversation with me. And he's right. When you approach a problem as enormous as everything that's happening there, I mean, it's so overwhelming because there's so many things. It's not just one issue, it's everything. It's like you're at the bottom of the highest mountain in the world and you have to figure out how you're going to get to the top. And it's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time. You just do what you can do and make a difference where you can. And I believe that if you genuinely are trying to do the right thing, that doors will open, things will happen, and support will come. And people need to come together, but I see this happening every day. I see people more willing to cooperate with each other and coming together much more than I saw 2 years ago. So I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, guys. And I've said this many times, but I'll say it again. This is their greatest fear, is you guys coming together as one. This is why they have done everything in their power over the years, going back to the Boer Mag, Bell Pottinger. I could name so many other things that have been done to fracture your community and pit people against each other. And I mean, I know the history. I know it goes back much further than the ANC and why. But in this fight, you need everyone of your community to come together. You can't afford to not be willing to find a common ground and work together toward the same goal. Because in the end, it is the same goal. Right? We'll never know how much corruption truly, and I mean, it's not just South Africa. It's everywhere, but South Africa, it's just compounded. Charmaine, I love that you said that. She says Julian Assange is our only friend against these powerful elites. It's so ironic that you say that, because I'm a huge supporter of Julian Assange. And, you know, the entire reason that Julian Assange created WikiLeaks was to help the vulnerable and to expose the powerful corrupt taking advantage of the vulnerable. And the irony that all of this is happening in South Africa, and that Julian Assange has now become the vulnerable in need of our voices, because he's become a victim of the powerful corrupt. It's very sad. I know that was loud. Yeah, I need to do more interviews. You found me through Mark's interview. It's like a double-edged sword for me. It needs to be done, but I really hate doing it. I felt comfortable with Mark and Jason because, you know, I've been speaking to Mark for months on end. And I really liked him because he said some things in conversation that I didn't want to hear, but they are all true. Some things were like a stab to my heart, but he was right, you know. But I agree, you know, if I'm just not the type of person to go seeking out people, but if, you know, certain people's, you know, ask me to, I would go on 100% and speak. But I'm just not the type to go looking for people to ask me to, or ask them to have me go on. Same goal, yes. Problem is the politicians. Yeah, they need to divide people. Good morning, Malcolm. But yeah, definitely. I would go on more, even though it's not my favorite thing. I think that the interview with Mark went well. And I really enjoyed both of them. Well, if you can get the information, I will email or message Mark and ask him about that. And does this have to do with the Sons of Odin? Where do I find this forum? Lena from Red Eyes. Someone mentioned Red Eyes to me. Actually, Jason just went on Red Eyes the other night. If they ask me, I would, but like I said, I'm not one to just reach out and because I don't like the attention anyway, so for me to feel like I'm asking people to bring me on their show, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, absolutely. Red Eyes would be a huge platform to get all of this information out. Yeah, they reach a huge audience, and so I'm sorry guys, I just speak low. But I was saying that absolutely, if Red Eyes, wanted to interview me, I would go on. Someone was talking about this, like Stephen Molyneux. Yeah, that would be awesome too. I mean, they have huge audiences. And it's audiences of people who are already fed up. And if they knew what was going on, I mean, they would raise holy hell. And that's the dilemma, is educating people and telling them the truth of what's actually happening. Because they may know some, but they don't really know. They have no idea. I got a lot of that from Mark's show, is, people said, I had no clue. I had no clue. What can I do? How can I help? So, I mean, that was a really good thing. That's the link to Sconsa Forum. Okay, I see. Well, I'll speak to Mark, and if anybody else can speak to any of these guys, I'm willing to do anything I have to do to get the information out. So yeah, that would be really awesome. And I mean, he has spoken on this a lot, but it's been a while since he spoke on it. Yeah, he is well versed on South Africa. He toured Australia with Lauren Southern. I didn't know that he did that, but I know that he's well versed on South Africa. Another person who's well versed on South Africa is Jason from No White Guilt. I was very impressed by the knowledge that he has of South Africa, because one reason that I became friends, per se, with Dr. Stanton of Genocide Watch is because when I spoke to him and started speaking, I mean, he just said, no, I want to hear what you have to say. I've never met anyone, outside of South Africa that has the knowledge of everything that's going on in the history. So, this led to like a 3-hour conversation, and I was trying to rush through it, try not to waste his time, but he's actually a really decent man and very down to earth and just a good person. So, War Legion, what do you mean, what do I know? What do you want to know? I mean, I actually know a lot about them. I try not to speak too much for or against any organization, because I'm not South African, and I won't suffer the consequences of people making the wrong choice. That's the same reason I don't openly push any political party or anything like that. I don't vote. It's not my place. But I will tell you, I do have a soft spot for the BL because of my own reasons. And their group is pretty large. I mean, they pretty much have people in every, I don't know what you would call, townships, counties. We call it something different. But they're trying to establish structures in each community to, help in the case of worst case scenario. And, I mean, they actually go out on the streets and patrol and things like that to, know what's going on and to be prepared to defend. I mean, they generally, I don't like to speak for them, but I do know that they have a, stay on the defense, strictly on the defense, and work within the law, so they're not trying to do anything to get anyone, in trouble in any way. They are operating within the law legally, and doing things to prepare people to defend themselves. I don't like to speak on it too much because I don't want to bring any negative attention. No, I have not spoken to him, our expat friend. Are sleeping South Africans. I was actually called a monster in the comments of Mark Collette's interview over my stance on traitors, and the people that are lying, that know what's going on and they are lying about it, that are of your community, because my words were pretty harsh. I mean, people were like, someone said that she literally just said no mercy, women, children, and he just kept talking. So I stopped him, and I gave my reasoning for that, but sorry. Evangelicals also about what Ivana cared, because Israel was one. I think that's a great idea. Hey Faith, good morning. It's okay. Yeah, but I was called a monster in the comments because of my stance on how to handle being forced into a civil war if that were to happen, and what tactics should be used, and my stance on traitors who are in part responsible for every murder of families, children, and rape and dehumanization and mutilation of women, children. So yeah, I have a pretty unforgiving stance when it comes to that. Yeah. And, I basically said that the fact is that you're a tiny minority. If you have no choice, or attacked or whatever, pushed into, a war. No one wants a war. I mean, wars, people die. I don't want to see anyone die. I definitely don't want to see a war. But if forced and you have no other choice, if you're not willing to fight with no mercy, you're not going to win. I mean, you give the mercy that you receive, and I see none, not for women, or children, elderly, no one. Serpensa is huge, and he is ex-South African, but he's very focused on coronavirus in China right now. Well, if anybody can get me in contact, let me know. You can email me at conservativetexaswoman@gmail. South Africa Awakening. I actually subscribe to him, and I share his stuff often, and I really like his channel a lot. I share a lot of that stuff. So guys, it's getting late, like super late here, so it's called Righteous Anger, Not a Monster, It's Alright, and I agree with you. Bye, Malcolm. But I'm gonna go, guys. I just haven't been on in a while, so I wanted to come on and ask that everyone share the website, and if you know people who are able to contribute, to ask them to help out in whatever way they can. It would help me greatly, because as I said, it adds up, and the help is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thanks for coming in, Video War. And thank everyone. I'm not going to comment on Scott. I don't have anything to say. I don't subscribe to him anymore, and I don't support, but I don't wish to say anything negative, really. But I have my reasons. So, I mean, that's just that. Good night, Charmaine. How do we sign the petition? Okay, Faith. The petition. You can find it. Listen, go to my website, ANCSanctionedGenocide.com. And I have it up somewhere. I think it's on the blog page, the petition. So go there, and there is a link to it. And you can sign it. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it so much. And no, I did not mail it yet. I will speak to you when I'm done. Hey, Ham. I'm about to go off, guys. I've got to go to bed. But if anyone wants to email me with questions or anything, you can email me at conservativetexaswoman@gmail. And I'll be back on this week with, some more stuff. And maybe I'll have someone on. But thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for the support. And please help me get the website out there and get some people to contribute and help out, to help with the costs. I would appreciate it greatly. You have a good night too, and I will see you guys later. Thank you. Have a good day.